Howdy, everybody. How's everybody doing today? This is a Thursday afternoon. It is June 15th, 2023 at 4:01 p.m. So I just wanted to catch up with some of my friends and talk to some good people out there and just do a general check-in with people and see how everybody's doing and kind of give some people a little heads up what's going on in G Money's world and stuff like that. Nothing. There's a couple cool things to reporters. I've got something hidden behind me. I'm not doing a very good job because if I weighed about 50 pounds more, I could hide it a little bit better. But yeah, we're gonna talk about a few things, and I want to welcome Melinda Dobson, Lane Maybe, Rita's Roost. So appreciate you guys. So um, it's my life's always like a roller coaster. You or like who was that? Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, or something. That's pretty much my life, and I can laugh now, and month and a half I won't be laughing. But so anyway, hope everybody can hear me okay. Um, it's a very windy day. It's really weird because there is no clouds, but it's extremely windy down here. So I try to configure everything. I have a little cheat sheet over here to my left, a little clipboard. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow it over. But let's get on with the show, all right? So I'm just going to talk about a couple boring things first, and we're going to hopefully gradually build up to some cool things that are going on, not just for me, for a lot of YouTubers and whatnot. But my part-time job, if you haven't tuned in before, I go in for about 4.5 hours in the mornings down in Naples, Florida, across from the Naples airport, basically. And I'm like inserting like 1,800 strands of fiber optic glass through like these rubber surgical tubes. It's like a really weird thing. It's a little complicated. It gets boring as hell. I could never work in a warehouse or factory my entire life, but it's what I'm doing for now until this other thing with the bait shop comes through. Excuse me, I had a little bit of snacks earlier, and sometimes I get a little that little. You know why? It just dawned on me. Oh my god, I'm supposed to take this thing called. Now it makes sense. Now it totally makes sense. It's called omeprazole or something like that. It's kind of like the. Hey, welcome, Gray Wolf. Appreciate you coming in. It's like a Prilosec type generic thing that you can get at Walmart. And my life's been so crazy that I have forgotten to take it. And then sometimes I choke. So I realize now, as I figure, so I go live, I realize that's why I'm having problems with my throat here. It's supposed to expand the esophagus basically a little bit and let it be more relaxing. So yeah, after this, I got to remember to go out to the truck. I think I still have a few pills left. And it takes about 3 or 4 days to kick in, they say. I welcome all 7 people in here. I appreciate it. I gave a little bit more advance notice, not a ton of advance notice because I wasn't sure what the weather was going to do with the wind. But anyway, so yeah, my part-time job, it's kind of crazy. It's just like, it's a part-time job, but they're nice people down there. So I do like them. Now, hey, Tish, welcome to the party. My full-time job that's coming up, it has potential, but it also gives me some fears too, right? And I'm not going to lie to you about that. It's a guy that's never had a retail store before, never really did. Like he's been an owner of like a different type of like a tattoo parlor and stuff like that. So he's not really familiar with retail and POS systems and how to price things. And so I'm kind of like his point man on that and trying to teach him these things. He's done a very good job for the location. Hopefully in this weekend sometime or Monday or Tuesday, I'll have a video posted somewhat showing you the interior of that bait and tackle shop. And what, when I say we, he's paid for everything, but, we collectively, some of his workers and myself really, I think we're making it look really nice with the potential that it has. And unfortunately, it has real low ceilings, like 7-foot ceilings. So that's really, really a difficult situation when you're trying to sell 7-foot rods or 7.5-foot rods or 8-foot rods. So now you have to go horizontal. It really eats up a lot of your wall spaces. That's very, very valuable for tackle. So we're working on that. I've created some concepts and seems to be buying into it a little bit. We're gonna wait and see what happens this weekend. It's just the rod and reels can be real good numbers for you. You sell a rod and reel for $200, or $150, and then you're selling tackle and bait. Now you're making some money. But if you don't have those high dollar, I'm not saying every rod and reel has to be a high dollar item, but you can have your $30, $35 fishing combos, your $80 ones, your $120, your $100. But you need to have a good variety of rod and reels. That's what the whole premise of the business is about. So it's really weird. So the business is broken up into kind of like almost two halves. There's like a front room, a little corridor, and then there's the back room. Well, basically the back room, which backs up to a saltwater canal, that the back part is the bait and tackle shop. Not a real big space, but it can do very well where it's located. The front room is going to be more like an art gallery with a lot of nautical stuff. It's coming along great. Hello, Michelle Lokerson. Appreciate you popping in. And so that has a ton of potential. The one thing that's kind of scaring me, like we talked weeks ago, hey, awesome fishing, man. Awesome fishing. I love those two words. You the man, the fishing man. But so some of my worries is like the guy sometimes can be like he has good intentions but sometimes he sends I don't know how to say this politely, or if you ever watch this, I don't want to say false signals, but we talked about a work schedule, which was going to be 4 10-hour days. And it was in text, and we talked about that. Sorry about the phone. I cannot control that. It's just crazy. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't have a quiet place in my life where I can just sit down and do a video or a podcast or anything like that. But so then today he calls. I finally get able to call him back, and he's kind of like, hey, now he's iffy on the schedule. And I'm thinking man, I hope I'm not getting used here, and then he's telling me he doesn't know anything about him. I already know he doesn't know anything, basically from the retail side. I said, that's what I'm here for him. Your point. And then he's telling me, well, we're paying you this. And, I don't know who's going to fill in for the other days. And we'd have to find someone cheap. And, it is in a way, it's the worst time of year to, hey, what's up, Drunken Chef Barbecue? Appreciate you tuning in. I love seeing all these new faces. Like I said, if in a perfect world, I could have given you 3 or 4 or 5 or days notice that I was doing this, but my life's kind of always I'm just winging it, time by time, like I said earlier, it's very windy out here today. Hopefully, it's not affecting the sound too much, but so then then he's, we agreed on a schedule of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 4 10-hour days, because the distance is not real close. It's 70 miles round trip. And with the cost of fuel nowadays, and I drive a cargo van, it's not real cheap. It's not like I drive like a little Kia or something. So, so we talked about that. And then today's like, well, can you do Sundays? And I said, no, I really need a consistent schedule. I really prefer not to do that. I said, until your store is open, yes, I can do some Sundays, like this Sunday I can do. And, so it's kind of iffy. So I'm kind of I'm getting nervous because I really need full-time employment. I believe the guy has a good heart. Sometimes he's kind of all over the board sometimes. And because he's got a lot of things going on in his life. And I understand that. So it's not really a knock on him, but it's sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable because I need consistency in my life because my mom's dying. She's in a rehab center. So let me transition to that real quick. So my mom's in this rehab facility. She's probably been there for, I don't know, a week or so. And, she's there because she fell, broke 3 ribs, busted her chin, busted her cheekbone, had a concussion. She's improving a lot better, and her face is looking a lot better. She's not as bruised up on the head. Her brain seems to be, like from the concussion or whatever, she's doing better. She still has, a lot of problems with, her ribs, but she's almost 90 years old, so she already has, issues getting around. But just some of the things with dementia, I wrote, and I have a little cheat sheet. I just want to talk to you about some of the things that drives me nuts, and it's really not her fault, but it's hard to deal with on my end or any other person who's got to go through this, because it will literally drive you BS crazy. She calls me around 11 o'clock this morning. Can you stop by the house before you come up here? Bring me my red slippers. Yeah, no problem. So I stop at the house, and she doesn't have any red slippers. So I do find some slippers, or light colored. Then she had some flip flops, and then I get there, and then she's telling me, no, I wanted the black flip flops. Well, Mom, you told me red slipper. It's just like stuff like that just drive you crazy. Then she calls me a little while ago. She did this. She's done this 2 or 3 times already, telling me that the rehab facility has taken her nightgown. I was like, Mom, no, I think you're just confused. I really don't think you had a nightgown there. I said, but we'll check into it. Just don't worry about it right now. And so then same thing with her walker and wheelchairs. Same story, 2 different versions of it. Her husband died of dementia. Hello, Illinois Kieran. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll just call you Ill for right now. Hello, Brandon's Outdoor Adventures. Appreciate you. So we, so she thinks the rehab facility stole her walker, and what it is the walker got changed out. And hello, Homestead in the Wood D and Redneck Tree. That's a mouthful, but I like all them words. I had an old girlfriend named D. Yep. She was pretty cool. She's deceased now, but she was a good gal. Matter of fact, I've never met a bad D, so that's a kudos to you. But so my mom gets confused. She her brain just it gets warped sometimes. She said they took her walker, they stole her walker, and then she's calling me at night telling me that they stole her wheelchair. No, Mom, you still have a wheelchair. No, that's not my wheelchair. And it's just crazy. She doesn't, her brain's just losing memory. That's what the disease is about. And then she's telling me none of the doctors visit her, none of the nurses visit her, just crazy stuff like that. And then there's some food issues from time to time, but so I'm going to kind of transition away from that, because I know that tends to sound negative. I'm not really trying to do that. But I do have concerns about going to my new job at that bait shop, because I just really need consistency. And when I told him about my mother's health, this is where it really hit a nerve with me, because he's like, oh man, that's just what I need, right? Rather than being sympathetic that I've got a dying mom, that she fell and, all this, it kind of ticked me off a little bit, not going to lie. So that's been I'm all, everybody's parents eventually are going to die if they haven't already. That was a little bit of almost like a red flag to me, but I don't want to go there. But, it just, there was no sympathy for the situation when I was just being totally honest about the situation. She's not going to live long, so it's not going to be a concern for too long for him. So anyway, something came out this week that was really cool for a lot of YouTubers, to give them a lot of hope, a lot of inspiration. YouTube has changed their standards for their monetization, right? So if I can remember this correctly, I think I have 2/3 of it correctly, and I think I have the last third correct too. But rather than having a minimum of 1,000 subscribers to qualify for that one category, they have now reduced it to 500 subscribers. And instead of 4,000 watch hours, they are now doing 3,000 watch hours. And one of the other categories to qualify, I think they were requiring to have like 10 million views or something for the short formats. And I think they reduced it down to like 3 million views because 10 million was pretty excessive. But so the good news is for me, I'm just shy of 500 subscribers. I'm at like 492. So if I get another 10, I'll be really happy. I will probably qualify at that category. I might lose one or two, or, next, you know how they come and go, but so it's really important. So, and as far as watch time hours, I am pretty much like, I am just shy of 1,000. When I say just shy of 1,000, probably like 15 or 20 hours shy of 1,000. So I'm in that category. I'm about 1/3 of the way to qualifying. So I'm excited. That may help a lot of other people that are not aware of that, So that's really good news for a lot of people. You can start getting monetized. You can start having ads on, and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a waiting period. You have to fill out the paperwork. I'm sure it's like a job. You have to fill out your tax information and stuff like that. And so that's really cool. So I'm excited about that. I know the watch hours is hard because it's a lot of people that don't know this is you have to have, those hours within the last 365 days. So like say 370 days ago, I had an outstanding video and I had, 500 views or, whatever, watch hours, whatever. And then you don't reach that threshold, it drops off. So it's the last 365 days where you qualify, and you have to be there for, I think, 72 hours or something before you qualify for monetization. So I just wanted to share that a little bit. Fishing with Modog, I that's a good question. I know it was blasted all over YouTube yesterday and the day before. I did not really see anybody say when that. I'm gonna guess like July 1st. I don't know because we're kind of like already in the middle of the month. So I'm gonna say possibly July 1st, brother. I really don't know. That's a good question. I will get after it and look for it, and you can look as well. But it's like midway through the year would be July, 1st. So that's what I'm assuming. Hopefully that takes effect real soon. And then so I've been working on something really hard. I want to start a new channel, and I want to do it very professionally because I've been in YouTube for a little over a year. I have no idea I had no idea what I was doing, and Tish, if you're asking about what were my watch hours, I'm just, or the threshold, the new threshold instead of being 4,000 is 3,000, if that's what your question. And then, thank you for replying there. So Homestead in the Wood with D and Redneck Tree saying they saw June 13th. I thought that's when it was announced. I don't know if that's the effective date, but I do appreciate you commenting and replying. So getting back to Tish Ross, they've reduced it from 4,000 to 3,000 to qualify for monetization. If you're asking about mine, I'm right around 1,000 watch hours, and a lot of that was because of my homelessness and all the turmoil with the hurricane and that whole drama. You know about it, so you feel me. So like I was trying to say is I want to start a new channel, a new platform, but I want to start off professional. And I want to show you something I've been working towards. Unfortunately, I need all the pieces to fall in place to do it correctly. And right now, one of my biggest obstacles is not having a quiet, soundproof room to do that without phones ringing and hurricanes and birds and power of attorneys popping in. It's just like I really don't have a quiet space. So I have some thoughts, but everything requires money, and that's G Money had no money, so I don't know why I should be G no money. But so I'm going to show you something that I had created for me. It's so cool to deal with a local sign shop. They nailed this, and they really took care of me. I've been dealing with them a lot for my decals and stuff like that. So I'm going to stand up for a second, show you what's going to be part of the backdrop. And like I said, I'm trying to do things in a professional manner. So if I really want to do high quality interviews, but I need to, like, one of the other obstacles I have right now is I have very, very weak Wi-Fi. So I don't want to go fishing with Modog. G no money. That's the real deal, bro. That might be my next channel. And I'll use a little, paper cup and a string and to communicate with the world, because that's how much no money I have. But anyway, I got distracted by reading comments. That's why I try not to read comments. But so anyway, so the podcast, I really want to do it professionally. I have like 20 or 30 topics that would be all over the board, but really interesting. And I want to do some as pre-recorded podcasts. I want to do some as live. But like, for example, like the first one I wanted to do live. Tish Ross has been kind of invited into that. Jason Johnson as well. And the first topic I want to talk about would be branding and marketing, and just like branding yourself, branding YouTube, branding a business, and just general topics like that. Do's and don'ts. And I've opened up myself for ridicule, to be ripped apart on the things I do wrong and perhaps some things I might do right. And then I'm going to kind of like, we're all going to volley it back and forth if all three parties agree to it whenever this may occur. That's the other hard thing, is trying to get people together at the same, like Jason's a trucker. Tish is kind of like, she's got a really busy schedule and she's very popular. She's got her own, I'm trying not to interfere with her channel or her topics, so to speak, but I know what I want to talk about. And so I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work, been watching a lot of YouTube videos about podcasts, how to do a podcast. So I'm going to stand up for a second so you can see something, a backdrop that is in the works. There's going to be other things. So take a look at this. Tell me what you think about this. I'm really proud of this. And let's go. So let me move the microphone just a little bit. So this, I always do terrible. This is the G Money podcast backdrop that I would like to put on a, probably, I'm going to do on a, like an easel or something like that, until I can get a real nice banner or something like that. Please share your comments on that. I really like that. It turned out so nice. That was basically only $30. They really take care. They created it, and when they first created that, I did not have the American flag above and below, and I felt bad. And I said, "Hey, man, I said I feel really bad because you did a really good job. Any chance you can fill in the top and the bottom with an American flag?" And so they nailed it. And they really nailed it. And so it basically, it was very cheap, because the first time they did it, they just gave me the decal, and I went out and got like not the poster, but whatever you call that, the foam core. My assistant was an 89-year-old mother with dementia, and like we ended up with wrinkles. It was a failure, and they basically did they redid it for me. at like very low cost, like because I'm such a, I've been dealing with them for years. So that's really cool when you can find a business that you can deal with like that. I even thought about, I'd really love to have them on a podcast one day. So there's so many different things. So, once again, I'm going to say hi to some of the channels that I see. Remember here. So once again, we have No Judgment here with Tish Ross. We have Freezer Bound Outdoors. He just hosted a really nice event in Pennsylvania. He had a YouTube creators meetup, did an outstanding job. I know he's highly respected. His name's Adam. Really like that. Fishing with Mo Dog. He does a lot of great things. He's very active. And, let me see here. Let me scroll up. We also have Homestead in the Wood with D and Redneck Tree. Then we have Illinois Canarum. I'm butchering that, I'm sure. I apologize, but I'm just going to call you Ill. You're Ill K for now. And then Brandon's Outdoor Adventures was here. It's showing there's 10 people here, but then Michelle Lokerson Vlog was here. Drunken Chef. So it's really good to see, better participation for once. That's my fault. That's not your guys' fault. Gray Wolf Outdoors, Lane Maybe, Rita's Roost, Melinda Dobson. She's a great supporter. So love you guys, man. It's like I'm, trying to stay positive in probably the worst situation you could live through in life. It's very hard. It's very hard. I get negative on myself at times. I get negative on people. Some days I just want it to all go away. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like it's ugly, but I'm trying to have a vision, have a goal, and stuff like that. So everything's like, it's like walking on thin ice. You just don't know what's going to happen from day to day. So I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I did a little video talking about the American flag, what the flag represents. So it's can't remember if it was a short or not, but I know it was a short video either way. I don't know if it qualifies as a short, but talking about what the American flag represents, the colors, the stars, the stripes, stuff like that. So if you get a chance, go watch that. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I'm going to check out, folks. When I say check out, I don't mean like, I'm not going to the funeral home, not quite yet, hopefully, but I'm going to check out of this video. Peace out, folks. Remember, always know your legal limits. And if you can, catch up with JJ Jones and try and support Reefs Across America. Hashtag is Find a Way to Serve. And they take care of our veterans, and they place wreaths at cemeteries for the veterans. And they were 34,000 wreaths short just in one cemetery alone last year that he participated with. So I'm trying to help him push that cause. And you can do $3.75 at a time. I've done that a couple times this week. You can do $5 at a time. The wreaths are only $15 a piece. So you do little portion payments. You don't have to do it all at one time. But we prefer not to have a push at the end. We really want to have a nice build up. People are matching some funds. I'm matching some of the funds. Jason's father is matching. If I got this right, I think if they get to $750, his dad's going to kick in another $250. So his original goal was $500 for a wreath. And I have a feeling we're going to way surpass that. So it's very important. It's for the veterans, people that, we're about to celebrate Independence Day. And these are the people that gave up their life for our freedom. So that's it. I'm checking out, folks. Always know your legal limits. Try to find time to help a stranger, talk to a stranger, or just say hello to somebody. Or subscribe to a new channel. That's another thing you can do. Just reach out to a new young channel. Peace out, folks. YouTube's a great place to be because you guys are all here with me. I know it's a great place. Thank you.